My third guy plays some games.
Alright, hi y'all. Weather Guy here. We're back with more of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I hope you're doing great. I am feeling pretty good. Once again, rather. I have my little kiddo sleeping next to me, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he does not wake up. We'll see. In other news, got a comment on my couple videos ago now that these last two cases are actually a two-parter of one larger case. So let me rephrase and say that we don't have two cases to go. We have one big case to go, which is a little nerve-wracking actually. It feels like it's going to be a ton to wrap our minds around, you know? But we will do our best. And we are now in our study, so we're going to do what's in our study, and then we're going to go see Lord Strongheart, talk to Lord Strongheart, and then honestly we'll probably call it there depending on what happens next. Again, I'm going for a bit shorter sessions now just because of having the child here and having to make sure I stay on top of that as well. I don't want to have these long, hour-plus long videos for a little while, if possible. But yeah, let's see what's going on. It's good news that Professor Mikitova arrived safely, isn't it? Yes, it's wonderful. And the fact that Father has been invited to this important international event really makes me very proud to be his daughter. Your father, Judge Jigoku, us, and Kazuma. Of course. There's an ever-increasing number of Japanese here in Britain's capital, isn't there? Yeah, all we're missing is Mr. Natsume, huh? Well, yes, I suppose so. But London does have a population of 6 million people, so I think we're still a minority. So true. Sato's father who came here as a visiting student 16 years ago in Kazuma. It's almost as if some great power has been at work, drawing them here across the ocean to London. A big conspiracy for sure. We still have to figure out what the hell is up with the Hound of the Baskervilles, you know? I feel as though the waters are starting to swell again now. That's it? Oh, okay. Anything new to examine in here? Let's do our spade shovel argument. Spade is still here, look. You know what's funny is I can't remember if they've ever like swapped positions on this or anything. I never remember who says spade and who says shovel. Oh yeah, name it, like Professor Airbrat. I didn't realize we were getting new dialogue. Now on then, let's call it... No, we don't want to be a shovel. That's funny. That's one of the best running gags for sure. Alright, what else we got? The tea thing. Steam is rising gently from the kettle as always. Yes, it doesn't feel right somehow unless it is. But the steam has an unusual scent today. Perhaps the sweet potatoes I brought back from Japan with me are ready. Gulp. Oh, Miss Ria, I heard that, you know. Tears of joy, Mrs. Sato, from my mouth. Uh-huh. What else we got? You see, I've been keeping my desk beautifully covered in papers as always. You really must tidy it all up, Mr. Ryu. No more excuses. Mrs. Sato, the way I see it, all these papers building up on my desk like this are a reminder of my wonderfully diverse daily life. I like to leave them as they are, so I never forget how lucky I am to have such a... Yeah, we've had this before. Pretty sure. Alright, let's ask about her room again. I'm very curious if we ever actually will see what's in there. Room across all is undisturbed, of course. Yeah. We've had this conversation as well, I think. Silly girl stuff. Had a delicious dinner tonight. I had some Wingstop. Went with 10 wings, 5 are hot, 5 are mango habanero. It's pretty good. This is just as it was before I left. Sumi ink and a calligraphy brush, even though we're in England now. Strikes me as typically you, Mrs. Sato, and typically not you at the same time. I do enjoy all the wonderfully new things that come out of the West and the Cultural Revolution, of course. But I'm not ready to give up my brush just yet. Anyway, Sato can write more neatly with a brush than most people can with a pen. Practice makes perfect, as I say. By the way, I released a new kind of video this past week. I'll talk about it in a second. All the sea life seemed very content in there, I must say. I noticed something recently, actually. The anemones breed at the most extraordinary rate. Oh, really? It's a mystery why the whole seabed isn't buried in a mountain of them, actually. Oh, how splendid! That really is a mystery, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I don't think there's anything else really. Oh, there's this. It's a lovely photograph we took together when I had to leave London, though it was a sad day. But I happily have the same photograph on display in my room at home, you know. Now that we're all back together again, it would be nice to take a new photograph, which we actually just did. But I did a new kind of video. Gosh, there's more. The Dromedal is still winking at me. Look, I wonder when he'll finally get his other eye filled in. Yes, I wonder if that will actually happen. We should have Sato and trusted the task to you. Truth is, I have already decided when that will be. What? Really? When? That's my little secret. Oh, brother. So I released like a trailer video, actually, for something that isn't actually probably going to happen. But, I've really been getting into Delta Green lately, which is a tabletop RPG, you know, like Dungeons & Dragons, but it's more set in the modern world and deals with Lovecraftian stuff. Anyway. And you all play government agents. Anyway, I made a trailer for a campaign I hope to run one day. And that's just very different from the typical Let's Play stuff, so if you want to check it out, you know, feel free, and it's short and sweet. Just felt like I should let y'all know there was something a bit different on my channel than usual. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work, thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zeek's doing here? My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air. Wouldn't you say? Yeah. This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. These two alphas. My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. Now then, Mr. Ryu. Yes, my lord. I'm right here. Ah, kill me now. He's probably about to give us the case. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room set at such a perfect temperature. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zeeks. I will attend at once. Good old Van Zeeks. Gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. Has he been sick? Is he in bed? What's going on there? My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Sir, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Oh, of course. Yeah, that's right. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Sife's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Zieks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort, though, disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Missing? Uh-oh, that's not good. Where's Kazuma gone? Kazuma. Sorry, I didn't feel like doing that line for whatever reason. Alright, let's talk about the symposium. Oh. Baby's stirring a little bit. I think he's okay though. He's doing some stretches. Let me turn on... Oh, that's already on. Okay. It's going to turn on his little vibrator on his bouncer, but it's already going. Anyway. Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? That's way too many. Are there even that many people in the world? As comparison, Mr. Ria, the population of the imperial capital of Tokyo is 2 million. She always has everything in that little book. It's like the world's greatest almanac. Or encyclopedia, rather. I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. Every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. View. She's still reading our minds. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So, the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. I see. That Dr. Scythe was leading. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. Simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. Ooh. About Lord Van Zieks' apprentice. Yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say. Whoops, I skipped ahead. That you and he are old friends, there we go. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zieks in the first place? Is he gonna tell us? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my! So he stowed away to get here. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zieks, that way I could keep an eye on him. Then why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeeks with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice, because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask. He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zeeks. I have high hopes for his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? I think Lord Strongheart doesn't know that he's the son of the professor. No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being. Oh. I take it you also didn't know. That the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean. Genshin Isogi. Yeah, you know, Kazuma's father is really having a large say in what's happened in the past several years, you know. He's got quite the Genshin impact. Anyway, what we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... yes, Genshin Isogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain. There were such awful murders, and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. We still have to figure out how this ties back, though. Because we've seen the dog collar, and it was totally in an unrelated case, you know? It was in our second case that it was left in Natsume's apartment. So, I don't know. There's still more to be discovered there for sure. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand. Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. What? Supporters of a mass murderer? The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? It's gotten very quiet. To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. Oh yeah. Oh, that's curious. That's curious for sure. What if that's the same entity? What if the Professor and the Reaper of the Bailey are the same entity? What if it was a close trial? What if it's a conspiracy, right? And Kazuma's father is innocent? Maybe not innocent, but maybe he wasn't the only collaborator, right? And they all pinned it entirely on him. Could be something that happened. Alright, anything to examine in here? Sitting behind that desk must make you feel so important, don't you think? Would you like to have an office like this, Mr. Ryu, with such a grand desk? Who, me? No, I don't think so. Oh? Well, imagine if you suddenly found yourself needing the toilet. You'd have so far to go. I think we've had this conversation as well. Perhaps the important people who work in ostentatious offices like this haven't considered such things. I think that's one of the negatives of me having such long times between recording sessions, you know? Is this game takes a lot longer in real life time, you know, so I forget things. And if I blaze through as much as I could in a weekend or two, right? Sorry, European suits of armor are still glaring at each other across the carpet, I see. In a way, they feel like guardians of the Lord Chief Justice Office. Yeah. Okay. 2 cats for guards? Okay. Anything else in here? The candelabra? Oh, the books. Yeah, we've had this conversation as well. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure I check everything because we are missing something because we've done, as far as I know, all the dialogue in this investigation phase and we haven't, proceeded to whatever the next thing is. I don't know. I don't know. Alright. The cogs, this is definitely not relevant. But let's look at it. Rhythmical tick-tock. I'm a big fan of clockwork stuff like this. I think it's very fascinating, and just clockwork type steampunky inventions in general. I think they're really great. That sounds like an insane thing to put in your office, a giant steam engine with a giant wheel? No way. Alright, now I think that's gonna be about it. Yeah. It's interesting that you can even turn the camera in here. There's nothing really of note to the sides. Okay, move again. Where do we go? See if there's anything new here. I didn't examine this area. Maybe that's what I should do. That desk is known as a hotel reception. Anyone wanting to spend the night has to report there to sign in for their stay. Oh, so do you think that's the head clerk behind the desk? Oh man, I just realized something. I've been playing music this whole time. In real life. I've been playing like lullaby music. I don't know how much the camera picked up, or the mic picked up of it. Oh no. Guess I'll find out afterwards. Guess I'm sure it must be. Love to stay in a grand hotel like this for a little while, wouldn't you? Just to know what it's like? The hotel fee was paid through our stipend. I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland. True, London gives the word expensive a whole new meaning. Alright. Big picture of the Eiffel Tower, it looks like, maybe? There's something interesting at the top. Is that usually there? Oh, that's a crystal tower. It just looks a lot like the Eiffel Tower. Look at that, it's a picture of the Crystal Tower. Well, the Great Exhibition is one of Britain's most prestigious achievements in recent years. I wonder how tall it is. It really does represent the pinnacle of scientific achievement in so many ways. It's a 20-meter tall chimney on the bathhouse near my lodging at University. The attendant there is always boasting that it's the tallest object in the neighborhood. I'm sure. Did you know that over the channel in Paris there's a tower that's 300 meters tall? What? How? How many times taller than the chimney yet? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they look very similar. Alright, that's reception. Guy with bags. Luggage. Look at those cases just left there on that trolley. Aren't they worried about thieves? No, I am. Haven't you seen the porter over there? Don't worry, he's obviously keeping an eye on everything. Ah, so it's a trap designed to catch any chancers who might be tempted. Like those people who make prank videos where they set out like a bicycle or a skateboard and they have it tied with like fishing line to a tree or something, so if someone tries to take it then they completely crash. Same principle. Why did the porter give me such a scathing look just now, do you suppose? Terrible inflection there by me. Well, some might say you look suspicious with your jet black clothes. And everyone clad in black is some sort of ninja with intent to steal, you know. Do ninjas steal? I never actually really thought about ninjas as thieves. You seen all those sparkling jewels up there? They must have gathered every gem in the world for that. Ah, it's called a chandelier. Yeah. It's designed to provide... I love how I'm agreeing with her and saying, yeah, it's a chandelier, like it's not the most obvious thing in the world for us modern audiences. On The World's Greatest Detective, that is indeed a chandelier. So they had to gather every gem in the world just to illuminate one room? Probably electric light bulbs that are actually throwing the light. If I tried to hang something like that from the ceiling in the office, it would be scraping on the floor. I think perhaps chandeliers aren't for you, Mr. Ryu. So true. Do we do the stairs now, maybe? No? Anything else? Seemingly not. Alright, let's move again. Where else should we go? Back to Sholmes' suite, perhaps? Actually, I should just look at the move thing. So I think she says stuff at the bottom. Yeah, are you sure we've asked everything we need to? Let's go here. Oh, I should probably present... I should probably present the newspaper with the stuff about the stuff. Looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mrs. Sholmes. To the Red-Headed League? Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Ryu. It's very obvious. Sorry? In the first instance, a quite indispensable observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? Interesting. I actually don't really know what regale means compared to boast, you know? I should look that up. So what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled? You noticed it in the paper, then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was how? I was going to join the Red-Headed League to get rent? Crazy. According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. Listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week? Yeah, we saw that. But why? What are they paying people for? That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement. But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case? You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. So will I, just on the off chance. I gotta get their hair red first. Might be stretching a point, I think. Trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see? Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. Wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes. So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fella? No. So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? Oh no. But what on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Ryu, though it pains me to admit it. This is actually where we're going to end today, because my kiddo is starting to wake up, and this seems like a suitable enough cliffhanger to where we find out what happened with Sholmes and the Red-Headed League, and we'll continue to whatever the main crux of the investigation is perhaps next time. We'll see. But yeah, a little bit of a short one today, but I appreciate y'all watching, of course. That's all I got. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. I'll see you next time. Peace out.